Welcome back, Unofficial Maniacs. Another disturbing, disappointing, season-crushing loss for the Nittany Lions. And ironically, again, it's at the hands of Iowa. Iowa? Really? They have our number? Come on! There's not going to be any songs this week. It's certainly not a party. I did manage to uphold my self-imposed ban on Penn State and the Steelers for the rest of the month of September. So here it is, October 1st. And I come to you with, much gloom and despair about what could be the rest of the season. But I didn't wear any Penn State stuff or Steelers stuff since Monday. I know. It's crazy. Because that's all basically I have in my wardrobe as far as comfy sweatshirts and shorts go. So it was tough, but I made it through. It's back on again. Can't turn my back for the whole year, but 3 days. It had to be done. The G20 was here in the theme of protesting, and who knows, a slight bit of anarchy. I was able to do it. Unbelievable. Who would have thought after the first play of the game for Penn State and then the next offensive drive that we would lose 21-10. But those would be our only points. A 70-some yard touchdown the first play. Spectacular. The game's ours, 40 to something, 50 to something. Then a long drive, get a field goal, take the clock, we're working them. Great. And then, I don't know what happened. I don't know. The weather wasn't great. It did rain the whole game. As a group that may or may not have been Milli Vanilli once said, blame it on the rain. Not this time. It wasn't that bad. I blame it on the coaching. I blame it on a pure lack of leadership on this team, which is funny because 2 of the 3 leaders from last year are back. And there's just no emotion, no sense of urgency. You would think that under a whiteout at Penn State, 8 o'clock game, everybody wearing white, student section going nuts, people in the parking lot drinking, and the cow pastures drinking away since 8:30 in the morning. And it was a dud. A big frickin' flop. Ugh. Anyway, why did it go wrong? Well, first of all, Daryl Clark. What we learned with Daryl Clark is he is not nearly as good as we thought he was last year. And why is that? Well, because first of all, he circled this game on the calendar. He pushed himself way too hard in it. He didn't let the game come to him. And he's trying to be a pocket passer. His game is a 2-dimensional quarterback, not 1-dimensional. You got to run. The pocket breaks down, scramble and get out of it and run for 10 yards where nobody is, but he tries to stay in and force throws. Really? Daryl, why? Are you trying to show off for the pros? Guess what, buddy? You're not going to the pros if you look like this. I can promise you. You have an absolutely average arm, and his ability last year was running around and then finding open spaces to throw the football when the receivers got there. This year he's just trying to force it in. It's terrible. I always knew that Pat Devlin leaving would come back to bite Penn State in the ass. Well, guess what? This weekend, it bit Penn State in the ass. He would have been in that game, and at least he is a true pocket passer. If that's what they want, then he's the man for the job, not Daryl Clark. But that's who we have. That's all that we have, because I don't know how good the other guys will be, but I can tell you that Kevin Newsom needs to get in the game. So there's one leader who just flopped. Evan Royster. He's a quasi-team leader. First of all, the one interception that Clark had, you got to blame Royster because it went right through his hands. Then the fumble after the only big run he had all game. Where was his head? What's going on? It's not the rain. It is not the rain. You can't blame it on the rain. I said no singing, and I mean it. So Evan Royster let us down. We know the offensive line is really as bad as they looked the first 3 games against much inferior opponents. There's just no hope there. What they got to do there is bite the bullet, move Wisniewski back to guard, and throw somebody else in at center. And just put Wisniewski and Landau next to each other and just run that way all the time. Because he cannot be as effective in run blocking at center as he was as guard. But it's just a shambles. The wide receivers, you can't say too much about them. I mean, Clark was, 12 of 32 for 198 yards, about 70 some of that coming on the one play. I mean, 12 of 32. You missed 20 balls. I mean, I didn't see any real glaring drops except for Roysters. I don't know. I mean, it was just all around pathetic. 10 points in the first quarter and then nothing the rest of the game. Nothing against Iowa. Iowa's okay. I mean, yeah, they won 8 in a row. They're not bad, but come on, Penn State at home, 8 o'clock. What? No. No. I don't know. I mean, what else to say? You can talk about the defense, but the defense really played a good game. I mean, in all honesty, they only gave up 1 touchdown, and they're given a short field every time. I mean, you know, they did what they could with what they were dealt. They were on the field all the time. You had 2 of the linebackers out. Jerome Hayes didn't play a lot. He must have been hurt a little bit. So, yuck. I don't know. The defense, I can't blame the defense this time. I mean, you know, it was a decent game. Yeah, there weren't a lot of blitzes, but yeah, they did what they had to do. I don't know. And then the block punt. I mean, really? The guy who blocked it, granted, he was probably maybe Iowa's best player, number 94. Hello, best player, double team, anybody? Anybody want a double team? Maybe we do need a special teams coach. I don't know. Some of the play calls, but I don't even know if it's a play calling because Clark just won't progress. First target locked in. He doesn't look away. So it doesn't matter what the play calls are because we don't know what else other progressions there would be. I don't know. We'll see what happens this weekend. I mean, Iowa's decent. They've won 8 in a row. Got to give them some credit, but they're not good enough to beat Penn State at home when Penn State's firing on all cylinders. And I blame the captains. There's no emotion whatsoever out there. None. And it's the same captains as last year, minus Josh Gaines. He couldn't have meant that much difference. Hell, I mean, there it goes. National championship hopes are probably down the tubes. Big Ten title. I don't know. I mean, geez, can you see him beating Michigan now? Ohio State even? I don't know. I mean, who knows what's going to happen at Illinois? What team's going to show up? I mean, Albert said it best. If they come out there and win by 30 or 40 points, then yeah, I think it'll be a good rest of the year. But if they barely beat them or even lose, which could happen, 6-6 at best. Oh, it's painful to even say it. But what are you going to do? I mean, Illinois, they're in shambles, but it's at Illinois. Who knows? Last time we went to Illinois, we lost. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I can't even put a finger on it. I don't know. You can't put a finger on how they're going to perform. I would hope that they're going to come out fired up to prove something, but they should have been fired up to prove that the cupcake schedule didn't affect them. Well, guess what? It did. And they didn't do anything. I don't know. Anyway, you know, the cupcake schedule affected them. I think it did. I think we were overrated, quite frankly. I thought we should have started the year at about 13, 14, kind of where we are now. That's where we should have begun the year. I mean, we had to begin the year where we were to get a shot because of our schedule, but, well, look what it did to us. Anyway, unofficial player of the game, I don't think there is one, quite frankly. I guess you give it to Chaz Powell. I mean, you know, the guy caught 3 balls, 98 yards, scored the only touchdown, so Chaz Powell, congratulations. You get it by default. Illinois coming up. I mean, again, road game, first one of the year. I just don't know what to expect. I just don't. I'll never predict Penn State to lose, but boy, I don't know. I mean, the way they look and the way Illinois plays at this point, judging on the last game by both teams, Penn State 12, Illinois 9. A field goal fest in Champaign. Might have to drink a lot of champagne during that game to get through it. That's the unofficial guy signing off for the glory. Hope to be in a better mood next week, but disappointment again reigns supreme. For the glory, be it Illinois, unofficially PSU.com. Thank you.